Hi there. This is just a short video. I wanted to touch base on some of the things that I learned while I was on that field trip in that video that I posted without a whole lot of dialogue in it. That was of the Vermilionville historic site. There is a couple of historians there that are very knowledgeable. One, his last name is Mayu, but his Native American name is Sitting Bear. He talked about several different things with me and another lady while the rest of the group had gone on to the next place to tour. And something that really spoke to me was in their culture about who holds the most prestige or considered the better person, or in our culture, in Western culture, for instance, if you're famous, if you have a lot of money, if a lot of things, a big house, nice car, beautiful clothes, then you are looked up upon. In the Native American culture, particularly the area that this tribe is from, which there's several different, but of the tribes of the area, in Native American culture in general, I guess, the person who gives the most is the person with the most prestige. The person who feeds the widows, the person who brings food to people who can't go get it themselves, or helps people. For instance, in a village, he said if there's children playing out there in the village and kid gets hungry, he steps into the nearest tent and he gets fed. It doesn't matter if you're a blood kid or not. You're hungry, you get fed. No questions asked. And they told the story about a Native American in particular. I think he said Sitting Bull, but I'm not sure. That he would go and hunt, bring back food, make sure that all the people that couldn't hunt for themselves got fed. He would do this so much that he'd forget to feed himself. So one day the tribe just pulled him off his horse and made him sit down and eat. That's a giving heart, because he wasn't doing it for himself, because one could say, oh, well, that's how he got prestige. He did not benefit from this prestige so much, say, as we would benefit from the prestige of having a lot of money and things, which would give us power and perhaps an ego that was too big, etc. This was just their way. And this was before Christianity was brought to them. So God saw their hearts. The heart was the heart of a giver, to serve others. This was part of their culture, and from wherever they migrated from, I'm sure, if you follow the biblical worldview, then we all came from the same origins and the same knowledge of God originally, even though things got different cultures and different things had their own ways of telling, and then it got evolved into other religions. But the whole taking care of the less fortunate, the feed the hungry, the widows, the defenseless, that they brought that with them from wherever they originated from. I thought it was very, very thought-provoking. We could learn a lot from that. I suggest you make a trip to Vermilionville and learn about these things. Go when the guides are there, especially Sitting Bear. Learn a lot from him. There's also one named Austin. He was in the blacksmith and the wood carving area. He was a great storyteller. Like, he needs his own YouTube. He may have one. I haven't looked for it yet. He could just make money telling stories after story after story. Kind of like Kevin Lake does. Big fan of Kevin Lake. So just something to think about. I mean, I struggle with I'm always worried about how I'm going to pay this bill, how I'm going to pay that bill. That's been the story of my life. I mean, there's a few times where I haven't worried about it, you know, but during those times, I've never had time to breathe either, because all I did was work and just be burnt out and not care about anything. So it seems like their culture wasn't worried about that, because, I mean, if you're out there doing work for everybody else because you're feeding people that need it and you're out there just giving, you weren't even worried about eating yourself. Someone had to make you eat, apparently, if you were with this guy in the story that was told to me. Food for thought.